On Monday, January 1st, landlocked Ethiopia signed a deal in Addis Ababa with the breakaway Somali enclave of Somaliland to access the coastline. This was the first step toward getting access to the sea. To understand this situation in the Horn of Africa, we will need to give you a bit of context of what is going on. Somaliland proclaimed its independence from Somalia in 1991. Since then, it has never received recognition from any nation and is in dire need of assistance. Conversely, Ethiopia is a landlocked nation. With a population estimated at over 120 million, Ethiopia is the most populous landlocked country in the world. Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed Ali has stated multiple times over the past year that the nation requires access to the sea. Ethiopia and Somaliland announced on Monday that they had reached an agreement whereby Somaliland will give Ethiopia access to the Red Sea and the Indian Ocean by providing land near the port of Berbera on the shores of the Gulf of Aden, and Ethiopia will soon recognize Somaliland's independence in return. These announcements are unacceptable for Mogadishu. In an address to the nation, Prime Minister Hamza Abdi Barre said he is still dedicated to protecting and defending Somalia's borders and urged the people to be united. But many in the area think that these actions pose a threat to both Ethiopia and Somalia. Somaliland is part of Somalia under the Somali constitution, and this agreement, signed without any legal basis, defies the rules of the UN, AU, and the Intergovernmental Authority on Development, said the Prime Minister. Mogadishu demanded that international organizations compel Ethiopia to give up its plans to access the Red Sea, and it promptly summoned its envoy to Addis Ababa for consultation. The agreement strengthens the security, economic, and political partnership between Ethiopia and Somaliland. Despite breaking away from Somalia over 30 years ago, Somaliland is still not acknowledged as a separate nation by the UN or the African Union. Somali officials reacted quickly because they still view Somaliland as part of their country. According to some reports, Egyptian President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi promised that Egypt will maintain a firm position alongside Somalia and support its security and stability during a phone conversation with Somali President Hassan Sheikh Mohammed. Take note that all this is happening after the governments of Somaliland and Somalia recently concluded a two-day discussion in Djibouti and agreed to establish a full cooperation on matters of security and fighting organized crimes. The issued statement emphasizes a shared commitment to starting the lengthy suspension negotiations again, with a 30-day window set aside for the painstaking creation of a detailed road plan. It is expected that this roadmap would act as a framework for future talks and the settlement of unresolved matters between the two parties. The parties reaffirmed their commitment to honor and adhere to the agreements reached at earlier meetings that took place in different international capitals between the years 2012 and 2020. Additionally, a shared commitment was made to address security challenges, emphasizing the significance of building a constructive atmosphere for dialogue and focusing on counterterrorism and the resolution of emergent disputes through independent and cooperative efforts. Both governments agreed to refrain from taking any action that would jeopardize the current process. They also made a shared commitment to preserve the dignity of the conversation and stressed the importance of preserving a positive environment for the duration of the proceedings. But here they are, a few days later with another pressing issue. All of this could lead to rivalry between Somalia and its allies, including Egypt and possibly Eritrea, as well as members of the Arab League and the African Union. As these state blocs attempt to decide how best to proceed in resolving this disagreement, we may witness a split both within and between these countries. Bear in mind that all of what is going on between Egypt, Somaliland, and Somalia is a typical example of what is going on in Israel and Palestine. The difference is that it has not just escalated. Israel and Palestine have a long-standing territorial dispute over the land in the West Bank, East Jerusalem, and the Gaza Strip. The conflict involves competing claims and aspirations for statehood, self-determination, and control over the disputed territories. Many people have lost their lives because of this conflict. We are unable to tell you when this conflict will come to an end because of the way things keep changing each day. Somalia and Somaliland need to sit back and look for ways to resolve this matter rather than letting other countries come into the picture. This will just worsen things. These disputes are not impossible to resolve. One example of a territorial dispute that was resolved peacefully is the dispute between Peru and Ecuador over their shared border. The conflict between the two countries dates back to the early 20th century, with multiple military conflicts occurring over the years. But in 1998, the Brasilia Presidential Act was signed by both nations, providing a framework for a peaceful settlement of their territorial issue. The agreement resulted in the establishment of a joint commission to draw the border, and both nations formally drew and approved the final border in 1999. This amicable settlement of Peru and Ecuador's territorial dispute served as an illustration of effective diplomacy and conflict management. However, the African continent is waiting to see how things will unfold between Somalia and Somaliland. Do you think Somaliland will stick to its deal with Ethiopia so that it gains recognition from them as an independent country? Do you also think Somalia has a point in telling Ethiopia to give up the Red Sea? Let us know what you think in the comments below. Do not forget to like this video and subscribe to the New Tourist channel. Turn on notifications too, so you get notified whenever we upload videos like this. Thanks for watching, and see you in our next video.